Hi, Hunters. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joy.
And I'm Laura.
And this is The Witches of Letters, a supernatural rewatch podcast.
Buckle up as we dive into season 4, episode 13, After School Special.
Yay! This is one of my favorite episodes.
Ah, cool. I don't like Dean in this episode.
Okay. I feel like Dean was miscast. He was miswritten.
You say this every time.
I'm telling you, this is not a Dean trait. Okay?
Well, I've only watched this many episodes and he's been like this in all of them. So I don't know if I believe you anymore.
Okay, I'm starting something called the Dean conspiracy theory. All right, opposing, but not in opposition to necessarily, although I roll my eyes every single time, the green eye conspiracy theory.
Oh, the teacher has green eyes in this, by the way.
Does he? I thought he had brown eyes. What the hell? Anyway.
I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing green everywhere.
Green everywhere. No, if you think it's green, I'm sure you saw green and like it's real. I just don't clock these things apparently. Yeah, no, there's me and there's a whole bunch of other people and we've been talking about it. Like I said it before and I'll say it again. There are a lot of girls out there who are like, that is not a Dean character trait. Okay, and we're right. And this is our conspiracy. He is miswritten at times. Okay,
at times. It's every single episode.
No, I will die on this hill. I will die. This is the hill that I am willing to die on because that is not true. Okay, look at the Wendigo episode. He gets a kiss on the cheek 2. And dies. Okay, no, but he's so cute. And season 1 Dean is canon. All right, and season 1 Dean would not do that. Season 1 Dean with like the young girls in Bloody Mary, so appropriate and cute and awesome. Yeah, no, I maintain that sweet, cute, like flirtatious, yes. Okay, a little bit of a Lothario at times. I will agree with that, but not the whole jailbait thing. Not the whole guess which one of the cheerleaders are legal. That's not Dean.
Yeah, that was the main comment. I was like, yeah. And he keeps calling like the teacher love or something. No, sweetheart.
He sugar. Calls her sweetheart one time when he's coming into class. He calls her sweetheart,
and he also calls her sugar.
I don't remember that at all.
I've got it written in my notes.
Okay. I'm holding my hands up. I remember the sweetheart thing. I don't remember the sugar thing, but like that I would allow because that feels like a Dean character thing to me. Because like I can admit when he's not perfect. He's a flawed character. He's supposed to be flawed. And I'm not somebody who's like, no, Dean is perfect. I don't have like some rose tinted glasses on about him. But I do feel that I know him to his core. And I don't really believe that that's a Dean trait. I'm shady on whether or not I think he would cheat on this girl to push her away. I'm not 100% on that one. Like, I don't know if I think that he would do that or not, but like, I'm not so against it that I'm gonna be like, no, he would never do that because he's a teenager and he's like mentally unstable and he's just been abandoned by his dad and people do really shitty things when they're hurting. And she hurt him by reading him for filth. And then she reads him for filth again, which was great. It was a power move. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. It's weird this episode because it was written by 2 dudes and it's actually really feminist in most places, but then we get these shitty little comments out of Dean that are very misogynistic, fat phobic, like low-key racist with the Hello Kitty comment. So it's like he's probably the Heather one that he made was actually a movie reference.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I'm not saying it's not bad, but they put those specific words in his mouth to be a reference to a specific film. So it's less like Dean is saying it and more like they wanted to put a pop culture reference in there. So that one's not as bad in a way, but like it's just.
Well, I look forward to meeting the Dean that you like because I haven't seen him yet.
I feel like you have, because the reason why I feel this way is established in the earlier seasons. Like his character is established in the earlier seasons. And then we get this part of the 2000s where the writing becomes a bit more misogynistic for a while and then things get better again. And
okay, I look forward to that then.
It's kind of like a slope. But the guy that they cast to play him is perfect. He looks so much like a younger Dean. He sounds really almost exactly like him. Also, this is where we start introducing what I call Batman Dean voice, like this exact episode, because in response to Cass's voice being so low, Jensen starts lowering his voice as well. And you hear it, you can literally in the opening scenes where they're sat in the car and they're chatting to each other, that's when he's doing it. It's so obvious.
Yeah.
So I have some fun facts and some things that I want to say. So I'm gonna. I know we've kind of preambled, but I'm gonna preamble some more. I felt like this episode is like a history of violence for Sam, mixed with the Dead Poets Society and also a smidge of Goosebumps.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's definitely some Buffy too, because like this reminded me a lot of the episode with the Invisible Girl. I think it's the Homecoming
Yeah,
episode.
I
There's
wrote that somewhere too. Yeah,
there's some really similar plot points
it's
and
like the
stuff.
bullying because she's getting ignored, isn't she? And so she becomes
Yeah,
invisible. I thought that too. That's fun that we. Well, of course we picked
we
up on
were
a
on the
Buffy
same
reference.
page. Yeah,
Yeah.
same page.
And the Dead Poet Society, they actually make reference to, don't they? As well?
I'm obsessed with the Dead Poets Society. It's one of my favorite films ever.
Yes,
ever. But like the history of violence reference for me is the part when, because you're watching him bruise. The same thing that happens in A History of Violence with Viggo Mortensen, which for anyone who hasn't seen that movie, there should probably be some trigger warnings attached to that movie. It's rated what it's rated for a reason. However, it's so unbelievably good. If you like action movies that are kind of violent, then that could be one for you. But basically, you have Kid Sam with this like simmering rage, and you know that he's probably holding back because you understand that he's John Winchester's son. And later on in this conversation with Dean, Dean spells it out first and is like, he definitely could like take this kid apart if he wanted to. He's choosing not to. And Sam is like, I don't want to be the freak.
Yeah.
And I just like your heart goes out to him. And he's so noble because he could dissect this other kid, which he does later, but well deserved. And then he doesn't. And then he still feels empathy for this dickhead ghost. I gave myself whiplash, right? Because what he's doing as a ghost, killing the bullies, I'm like, yes, kill them harder. That is awesome. Do your job. Amazing. Stellar. But then when he tries to say that Sam was a bully, I was like,
Yeah.
bitch.
I was like, he's not the bully.
He
You're
said
the bully.
he beat you up in self-defense. In self-defense. He didn't start that fight, but he fucking finished that fight, okay? That's fine. Then he said one thing to you that the other kids picked up on because you bullied so many other kids.
Because he
So
was
you
a
got
jerk.
a taste of your own medicine and then spent the rest of your life blaming a person who pushed back one time. It was like all projection the entire time. It was just all him projecting his guilt on and being like, no, but I'm the victim. I was the victim of bullying. No, you were the bully. You absolutely. I can't say that word on radio probably, but like I'm not going to say it. But I'll see you next Tuesday.
I thought that's all. I think this episode was trying to make us feel sorry for him at the end when they speak to his dad. And I get it, hurt people, whatever. But he was the school bully.
Yeah.
And then like you say, he got one time when someone stood up to him, and then he's like, "Oh, they bullied me."
It's like the ultimate definition of he can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of people who go through really difficult emotional times, and don't become monsters. It's sad that he was going through a difficult emotional time, and it's sad that he had to do what he had to do, but it does not excuse him tormenting other kids.
No,
like to the point not where everybody wants to pull the wings off the butterflies. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's on him.
One kid actually died because of his bullying.
Yeah, he drove someone to kill themselves. Like, it's not like a low-key bullying. We're not talking like the occasional swirly. Like, he was mentally, physically assaulting people on a regular basis and torturing them. This wasn't like a simple like pushing somebody in the hallway or whatever. This was consistent, daily grinding them down into a fine dust kind of a situation. And it's awful. And so it's weird because like the ghost is my hero on one level at the beginning before we know all of the backstory and everything. And I have seen this episode.
Like a vigilante, don't you?
I fucking live for a vigilante. I just thought of a story I can tell you later when we're not on the air. But I love a vigilante. I love to see justice being served. I find it really, really cathartic. And so at the beginning, I really felt like that's what was happening. And then when you get to the end And he's like, Sam, you were the bully. I was just like, get a fucking grip, you absolute loser. I was so over it. Immediately, I was done. And then they try to give him. I also get really, really, really irritated when writers try to give villains sympathetic background stories because
Yeah.
it annoys me because I've known so many shitty people who don't have the excuse of a sympathetic background story, and I know loads of people who've had terrible things happen to them and just haven't turned into assholes. So I feel like you can have bad things happen to you, you don't become an asshole. It's not an excuse. Like it's just not okay to my mind. Like I'm not saying you can never mess up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, but I am saying there are people who do horrible things and use stuff like that as an excuse to not actually take responsibility ever. Like exactly like what happens with this character.
Yeah. Yeah, agree.
And that
Yeah.
enrages me.
Yeah. I felt the same way, so I'm glad that we were on the same page with that. Dirk the Jerk.
Dirk the Jerk.
And poor Sam as well, like felt so bad about it when his dad was like, "Oh, people called him Dirk the Jerk," and it's like, yeah, like one thing, and Sam
One
felt
time.
so bad. Yeah,
Yeah. See, this is the thing is like Sam is such an empath type person, isn't he?
he's a sweet baby angel.
He is a sweet baby angel. And I actually love this episode as a Sam episode so much. Like there's bits of Dean in it, which I also like. But this really is at its heart, this is a Sam episode. And it's so good. Okay. There's so many references that are absolutely amazing. Oh, Captain, my Captain. I love that he's in there all kind of like, is it Goodwill Hunting? He's all the janitorial genius in the old school. And one teacher notices him and is like, you have talent, son. So yeah, I love all of that. Um I think that we get to see Sam being super hot and protective and kind and strong and vulnerable and intelligent. And the scene with his teacher really gets me in all of my feelings. Because
Yeah,
as a kid who did not have stable parents either, the people who often make the most difference to your life are your teachers. If you have one or two good teachers, it makes the world of difference, right? And he even says, "I think I went to college because of you." And I was just like I related so hard to that, and
mm.
I love it. It's just magical and beautiful. And also, I don't think that teachers tend to get a lot of shout outs like that, and teachers effectively carve out society. Like that's what their job is. Their job is to carve society into kids basically and teach them how to be humans and how to function in the world that they live in. And the good ones, the great ones, like in Dead Poet Society, will change the trajectory of your entire life. So I think it's really lovely to have this little accolade to the great teachers.
Yeah, I like that too.
Hmm. But yeah, I think that's my ramble for the preamble. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just wanted to bring up Dean.
You just wanted to annoy me.
I didn't. I wanted to be like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, so you wanted to annoy me. It's the same thing.
That wasn't the MO. No motive. That wasn't the motive.
If you say so, Laura. I think it's telling that you said MO because it was criminal. Okay. Do you want to give us the synopsis?
Yeah. So this is season 4, episode 13, After School Special. The original air date for this episode was January 29th, 2009. Sam and Dean investigate what they think is a case of demon possession at a high school, but turns out to be a haunting. The high school that they are investigating is also one they attended for a few weeks when they were younger, so we get lots of flashbacks to this time throughout the episode. The present day case involves students being attacked in violent ways that echo bullying incidents from the past, and Sam and Dean realise it's a ghost targeting bullies. They first believe it's the ghost of a bullied student who died by suicide in one of the bathrooms, but this turns out to be a red herring. The actual ghost is Dirk the Jerk, one of Sam's old classmates, who died at a young age and who ironically bullied Sam and other students at the school. After talking to Dirk's father, Sam and Dean find out that although he was cremated, his father kept a lock of his hair, so they have to locate Dirk's remains and burn them. Through the flashbacks, we see the effect that moving around all the time had on Sam and Dean when they were younger.
Yeah, you get a real sense of how destabilizing everything was, especially for Sam.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Dean kind of doesn't really know much different because he was so young when his mom died, because he must have been like 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah.
So his whole life, this has been the norm. And I suppose in a way for Sam, it has been the norm his entire life because he was just a baby. But obviously, young children especially crave stability. And when they don't have it, it can be super destabilizing. So you can see there's ways in which he has adapted, but there's also ways in which he's really clearly struggling. But like Dean has developed some coping mechanisms, not healthy ones, but they're
Yeah.
there. So it is like, it's really interesting to see how each of them has these different unhealthy behaviors that are created through the trauma of having such an unreliable, unstable father figure.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Bloody John.
John Winchester.
Yeah, and also the whole then part where they do the flashbacks, it was just showing us how bad a dad John was.
It's the way that they know that people in their family are possessed if they say something nice to them. Like,
Aww.
it's just the biggest Winchester giveaway ever. Like, Campbell saying something nice to you, demon. John Winchester saying something kind to you, demon.
Yeah, you're being too nice. You can't really be my dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, poor Sam and Dean.
I know, right? I have to say the casting is really, really good. Like young Sam looks like young Sam. Young Dean looks like Jensen Ackles. Like these two actors look so much alike. It's
Yeah,
amazing. I'm so
they were
happy that
good.
there's more of them out there. You know, we have been blessed. Praise the Lord of thirst. And he's really excellent at acting like Dean's characteristics too. Young Sam is a little bit different because he's playing something completely different from how Jared plays, but he's phenomenal. Like you can see Sam in him. So it's just like it's really beautiful and I love it so much. Like I love anytime we get backstory.
Yeah, I do really like the casting of those two. It felt like they had a bigger age gap than they should have, but I think it's just it works still.
Yeah, I thought that too. And then I think that they're at the age where like boys don't grow at all, but girls do. And I think Dean is just older enough that
Yeah,
he's past that point, so he's shot up.
yeah. I was gonna say boys tend to have a big growth spurt like a bit later than
Yeah.
Sam currently is in the flashbacks.
Yeah, so I
Probably
think
not far
that's
off.
exactly. I think that's where they are.
Yeah. So, starting the episode then. So, we open to a bunch of teenagers at lunch and they're all slut shaming another student called Taylor. And Taylor
Mhm.
then comes over and then they slut shame her to her face. And it's mainly like one mean cheerleader girl, but everyone then starts chanting at her. And Taylor then goes and sits at another table with a girl called April, who's really nice to her, but then
She's
she's mean
so
to her.
nice.
And then she's calling her a fat, ugly pig. And then again, hurt people hurt people. But I didn't like that. And then later, Taylor is in a bathroom crying, and April comes in and smashes her head against the mirror and the sink and then drowns her in the toilet.
I was like, "Good job, April. Take the trash out."
Yeah. And then afterwards, we see, I thought it was blood to start with, but it's like some weird ectoplasm goo stuff coming out of her eye.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're ugly."
Yeah. I know, he's like, "You tell her, ugly is as ugly does."
Yeah.
I don't know, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. So that actress, I read a behind the scenes with her,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she said it
What,
was
April or Taylor?
Taylor. It was one of her earliest acting gigs. And basically they told her, "Yeah, we're going to drown you in a toilet." And she thought that they weren't really going to put her head really in the toilet, but they did. So she made them promise that they had installed like a brand new toilet that had never been used. And she said, "If anyone uses it before this scene, I'm going to kill everyone on set." She was like, "I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it if someone's used it." So they swear that it was a perfectly pristine toilet that they installed on the day only for her scene. And then they literally she did that whole scene. Her
Wow,
head
like
goes in
properly
the water
underwater.
because we see her face from the bottom of the toilet. So they put a camera down one end. I don't know if they also did some filming in a water tank or anything else, but like we see her getting swirled to death, and
Yeah.
that's why we see her face the whole time, because that's actually her in there.
Ah. It reminded me of the episode that we had recently with the Halloween party, and then she gets boiled alive.
Yeah.
Like, that was a similar kind of
There
thing,
were
and
actually some really cool camera angles in this episode. There's like the
yeah,
angle up from the trunk that I love. There's an angle
I love
up
that.
from the grave, and then there's the angle up in some of the horror scenes, like in her drowning scene.
Yeah, it's cool.
Hmm.
So April is now in a psychiatric facility, and Sam is questioning her, and he's dressed as an orderly. And she's saying how no one believes her. And Sam asks why she told the police she was possessed. And she says it doesn't matter, but he says it matters to him. And she explains that she couldn't control it when she was attacking Taylor and she wanted to stop. She also says they didn't really get on, but she never wanted to kill her. And then she asks Sam if he believes her, and he says he does. He then asks if she could smell anything on the day, like rotten eggs or sulfur, and she says no. And then he asks if she noticed any black smoke, aka demon dust. And then
Demon
she says,
dust.
"What, are you crazy?" And I went, "Girl, look where you are." But also, this is Sam is this is the beginning of thinking that it's a demon, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So they're pretty convinced that's what it is, because she was acting possessed.
Yeah. I saw the ectoplasm and I was like, ghost.
Yeah.
But we know, and they obviously don't have that perspective.
No. It's kind of like a possession, but it's a ghost rather than a demon.
Rather than a demon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's outside, it's daytime. We see the Impala. Sam walks up to the Impala and Dean's waiting for him. Sam gets in the car and they have a conversation. And he says, I think she's telling the truth. I mean, the way she talked about being there mentally, but not physically, kind of sounded like demonic possession to me. And Dean's like, kind of. And Sam says, she didn't see any black smoke or smell sulfur. And Dean's like, maybe it's not a demon. I mean, kids can be vicious. And Sam's like, well, I mean, we're already here. We might as well check out the school. And Dean's like, right, this school. And Sam goes, what? And Dean's like, Truman High, home of the bombers. And Sam's like, what's your point? And he's like, I mean, we went there for like a month, a million years ago. Why are you so jazzed to go back? And Sam says that he's not, but he just thinks that it's worth looking into. And Dean says, all right, well, what's our cover? FBI, Homeland Security, Swedish exchange students? And Sam says, don't worry, I've got an idea. Dean's like, okay.
So we then get a flashback where John drops them off at the school. And unfortunately, we don't see John. No Jeffrey Dean Morgan for us, but it's implied that it's John, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Also, the exterior of the school, I have a fun fact from IMDb.
What is it?
It's the same exterior used to shoot the pilot episode of the Vampire Diaries.
Oh.
We also have another Vampire Diaries reference, though, because Candice King is in this episode as well as Amanda, isn't she?
Caroline.
Yeah.
I really like the character of Caroline.
Mm-hmm. I liked her.
Yeah. So it was really entertaining to see like the Vampire Diaries supernatural crossover, because they're always like having banter about each other's shows on the red carpets. The supernatural cast are always like, we should just go over there and just kill all those vampires. We'd be over there and 10 minutes later they'd all be dead. It's hilarious. There's all back and forth. And then the guys in the cast are like, but they're so handsome and so tall. And that always makes me laugh. I love that.
Yeah.
So in the 90s, Dean is talking to Sam and they start walking to the school, and he asks Sam if he has everything. He says, got your lunch, books, butterfly knife? And and Sam's like, yeah, Dean. And Dean's like, are you okay? And Sam says, sure. And Dean says, Sammy? And Sam says, I mean, look, this is the third school we've been to this year, and it's only November. I'm just sick of always being the new kid. Dean's like, you'll be fine. If anyone gives you any trouble, you let me know. Relax. Dad said this hunt will take him 2 weeks tops. As soon as he gets back, we're out of here. And Sam's like, to another school. Awesome. Aww. And like, when you think about it, and we know how smart he is and how much he enjoys academics. And to be in a place and to always be the new kid and always be the freak, and to have that cycle repeat over and over and over and over again. So he never gets the adjustment period, ever. He never gets to the part where he gets to make friends or where he gets to find any kind of acceptance. He's not getting any of those moments. It's just always bullying, isolation, instability, constant movement. no safe place to go to. It's tragic.
Yeah. And also because he kind of makes friends with Barry in this episode.
Yeah.
And they probably would have been friends if he'd stayed. And then it's just sad for both of them because obviously Sam has a horrible childhood and then Barry doesn't survive his childhood.
No, it's awful. It makes it really, really tragic.
Yeah. Also, did you the kid that plays Barry? I say kid, he's probably like he's older than us now, probably. Yeah. But he it was in 2 other episodes of Supernatural. But so he was in Wishful Thinking, and he was one of the bullies.
Huh.
And I meant to go back and watch it, and I didn't. But I'm assuming one of the bullies that's bullying the kid, the creepy kid. And then he also had a small role in Faith, apparently too. But I don't remember him in that. He might have just been like in the congregation or something.
That's cool. So the scene is changing back and forth from young Sam and Dean in the classrooms as they're introduced. So Dean's classroom and Sam's classroom. And we first see young Sam as he stands in front of the classroom while being introduced by the teacher, Mr. Wyatt. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to Sam Winchester." And the class is like, "Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam," because they're little kids. Meanwhile, Dean is in front of his class, and his teacher, who's an older woman, says basically the same thing. Say hello to our new student, Dean Winchester. They don't say anything because they're teenagers.
Just silence.
It's absolute silence. And then she asks if there's anything he wants to tell them. And he says, "Not really, sweetheart." And she gets angry and says, "Take your seat," which is fair.
Yeah.
Because it's disrespectful.
Yeah. I have a question. Is this like does this really happen in American high schools? Because this seems to happen in every single American high school film, TV program. Like when there's a new kid, you make them stand up at the front and introduce them to everyone.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Because I don't remember that ever happening in English schools.
Well, in American schools, they think that it's a nice thing to do because they feel like they're introducing you to all of your new classmates and everyone will know who you are, I guess.
Yeah, in theory. But it would also be really embarrassing.
In practice, it is really embarrassing, I'm sure. Luckily, I've never had to do that.
No. Yeah, I feel like I see that all the time. The one I'm thinking of is Never Been Kissed. When they do it, they make her wear like a sombrero or something.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah.
Wild. Okay, so then we go into Sam's classroom, and Sam has a different experience. So Mr. Wyatt says, "Is there anything you'd like to tell us about yourself?" And he goes, "Not really." And then he's like, "Okay, grab a seat." And then when you flash back to Dean's classroom, he's walking down the aisle and takes an empty seat. And then we flash back to Sam's classroom, and he walks down the aisle to an empty desk as well. He places his backpack on the desk, but his knife falls out on the seat. He grabs it real fast and hides it, but Barry sees it. And he's like, "Whoa, that yours? Awesome." Then we cut to Dean's classroom. Yeah. And Dean's teacher says, "Dean, where are your books?" And Dean's like, "I don't need them, sugar." "Oh, yeah, sugar."
See? Told you.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Not going to be here long enough anyway.
Oh, he's such a bad boy.
He is playing a bad boy, and it's kind of hot. I'm not going to lie. Then he notices Amanda, who's Caroline, really. I might refer to her as Caroline from now on because she's kind of playing like a low-key version of Caroline.
Yeah.
So we cut back to Sam, and Mr. White is saying, "All right, gang, essay assignment." And the class is like, "Oh." He's like, yeah, my heart breaks for you. And that made me laugh. And Barry's like, "Hey, I'm Barry." And Sam's like, "Sam." Aww. And so Mr. Wyatt, it is cute. Mr. Wyatt says, "Okay, now I want 3 pages of your most memorable family experience. Just a reminder, though, this is going to be worth half your final grade." And then he kind of drowns out into background noise. And it's Dirk the Jerk starts flicking Barry's ear while Mr. Wyatt is talking. And Sam to Dirk says, "Leave him alone." And Dirk says, "Shh, I'm going for a record." And Mr. Wyatt says, "I don't care what you write about or even how you write about it. I'm looking for the brutal, funny, maybe even painful truth. Okay, everybody, any questions? All right, let's get started." And Sam says, "I said, leave him alone." And Dirk says, "You want to take his place? Midget." Not aged well.
No, although it was kind of funny because we know that he turns out to
It
be like
turns out to
huge.
be Jared.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sam looks at him all cold and says, "Yeah, sure." And because he's not flinching and he's not scared, Dirk the Jerk starts to question his life choices a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, he kind of looks surprised that someone's standing up to him, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, because Sam, the kid who plays this part, I know he's a grown man now, but he was a kid when he played this part, and he was excellent. Because what he does is he does that aggressive eye stare thing where he shows him like more wets of his eyes and no fear, and his
Just giving
eyes
him
are
the
super
evils.
dark, and he's like, "I could murder you." Is what he's saying with his eyes, and it was great. It was so good. So we cut to the hallway, and Sam's walking down the hallway just as the bell rings, dismissing class. He's dressed as a janitor because we're back to like the present day and pushing a janitor's cart because we're now in that one movie with Matt Damon. He passes Mr. Wyatt's room where class is getting out, and it's the same Mr. Wyatt that we saw before, but he's older now. He's such a charming man as well. Like, I am so enamored with this actor / teacher.
If he was a villain, he'd be a hot villain.
He would be a hot villain. He's also in When Calls the Heart, which is a Canadian Hallmark type thing that I have watched so many times. I don't remember him exactly, but it might be why I have such a strong reaction to him all the time where I'm like, no, he's the best. I don't know. So we cut to the gym and it's daytime. And this is one of the most iconic things in the fandom, Laura, just so you know.
Well, okay. Yeah, okay. Carry on.
Okay. So Dean is dressed in a white shirt and tight red shorts. He has a red headband on his head. He blows a whistle and then addresses the class. Today, you will have the honor of playing one of the greatest games ever invented. A game of skill, agility, cunning. A game with one simple rule. Dodge. And then he hurls a ball full force into this one little kid directly in front of him. And this is not an act. Like, I hope this kid, I assume he must have been wearing something like on really his body because it was so hard that he absolutely folds and he's not acting. And like, we watch how hard that ball hits too, because there's no Hollywood tricks going on here. He just slams a child with a ball.
Yeah. Can we take a brief pause to put my costume hat on?
Go.
So, the shorts. Right, I know that they're iconic, and I know that Jensen had a hand in it. So I found this fun fact that says Jensen Ackles had quite a hand in Dean's gym teacher costume. And he says he based it on a gym teacher from his high school and described the bright red shorts to the costume department. When they came, the costume department then altered the shorts to make them even tighter. The red shorts has become a common Dean trope used by fans of the show. And it reminded me of our conversation during Folsom Prison Blues where we discussed Jensen
the arms.
asking for the arms to be tailored. So I had wondered if that was the case as soon as I saw these shorts, and then this fun fact confirmed it. But I have to say, as a previous costume designer and maker, the belt, they don't look like gym shorts, and it really annoys me. They look like tailored shorts with a belt, and I'm like, that is not what a PE teacher would wear. So yeah, I know they're iconic, but it just annoyed me a little bit.
Okay, I can understand that. I will say that it looks less jarring to me because it looks almost like, you know, the kind of teachers who like have sports teams and they have their special little like pieces they have done or done up or something, and then they wear it also as like part of their uniform. That's what it felt like to me, and it just also reminded me of the movie Dodgeball.
Yeah,
like the whole thing was really over the top, and I see what you're saying, and I think the shorts are over the top, but
it was literally just the belt. The shorts would have been okay. It was the belt that threw me.
We'll see, the whole thing together, to me personally, adds to the comedy element. I feel like it's purposeful because it is silly, and I think it's supposed to be silly. But I absolutely understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. I think it's like purposeful silliness.
Yeah, it was funny though.
It is funny, yeah. So Dean goes, sorry. And then there's a kid in there who's saying, substitute Coach Roth. And Dean's like, yeah. And Colby's like, Miss Bordeaux never let us play dodgeball. And Dean's like, well, Miss B's in Massachusetts getting married, so we're playing. And I found that this was because same-sex marriage in America was still illegal at this point, which was an experience that I had because my coach was also gay. But she had a less good experience because she came out to the school, like a bunch of people came out at the same time and they all got fired because Bible Belt.
Whoa,
So
that's
she
awful.
lost her job. And she was the best coach that I ever had in my life. She loved her job. She was amazing at it.
Yeah.
She tried to teach us that we could be anything we wanted to be. She hung posters of like muscular women to be like, you can be muscular too. And yeah, it was awful. She's probably she's the first queer person that I knew as a queer kid.
Yeah.
And so that was a pretty traumatizing experience for me.
That's awful. They just lost their jobs just because of their sexuality. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Obviously, it's worse for her than it was for me, but I think it was traumatizing to both of us, me less so. But not a great experience to have if you're like a little tiny bisexual baby. And then the only queer person you've ever met in your hick town gets fired for their identity is not great. Because it was still very illegal to be gay, basically, because you could legally be fired or banned or harassed if you were gay in the States at that time.
I didn't get that reference. So what was the quote again? She was getting married where?
She was getting married in Massachusetts. So Massachusetts was one of the only states at the time that was allowing gay marriage. So the implication is that she's like a butch lesbian and she's off to marry her cute girlfriend in Massachusetts, which we love.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get that reference. I like that.
I found that one from Supernatural Wiki and I was like, yay!
Yeah. Did you get the pseudonym?
Ms. Bordeaux?
No, Coach Roth. David Lee Roth.
No.
Another rock one. Another rock pseudonym. Van Halen.
Oh. I literally did not switch on at all for that part.
I always have to like think about his pseudonyms because they're usually something, aren't they?
They're almost always something. I did not think. My brain did not engage. So Colby goes on to say that she says that it's a dangerous game and they're not allowed to play it, basically. And Dean blows his whistle and screams, "Take a lap." And Colby's like, and Sam comes into the gym and gets Dean's attention. Dean throws the bag of balls at the class and just says, "Go nuts." And these balls explode and these kids descend on it like the kindergartners from Recess.
Yeah.
They're absolutely savage. Okay, it's amazing.
Did you I like watched them in the background as Sam and Dean were talking and I'm like, they're not playing dodgeball, they're just throwing balls at each other.
I mean, that is basically dodgeball, but
well, yeah. Like there's multiple balls, yeah. It's funny.
It's amazing. So Sam says having fun and Dean says the whistle makes me their god, which is my favorite quote.
That was a good quote.
That's a huge quote in the fandom, Laura. Memorize it. And Sam says, "Nice shorts." And I died laughing. And Dean says, "Find anything?" And Sam says, "I've been over the entire school twice, no sulfur." Dean's like, "No sulfur? No demon. No demon? No case." And Sam's like, "I don't know, maybe I was wrong." And Dean's like, "Well, it happens to the best of us. I say we hit the road, huh? But after lunch, it's Sloppy Joe Day." And I was like, that is the most Dean thing ever. He's like, food first. Always food.
Always food.
Always the food.
Yeah. Which actually segues into the next scene. So there's what do you call a cooking class in America? Because it would be like food tech or food prep here.
Yeah, here when I was going to school, which is many years ago, we called it home economics.
Oh yeah, we used to have that before. That was before I went to school though, but yeah.
I'm old.
Was it just cooking that you did in that, or was it like sewing and stuff as well altogether?
So home ec, you would have separate units, but it would be like called that. So I had a home ec that it was a sewing class, a home ec that was like a shopping mathematics class, like a how to run a house class and pay your bills and whatnot. And then I had one that was like table manners, setting the table, and did we ever make food? I don't even know if we ever made food in that class. It was really annoying. It was just like etiquette. Etiquette is the only thing I can remember. I think we were supposed to make food too.
Yeah.
But if we did, I don't really remember the food making because I was so outraged by the etiquette stuff and I thought it was sexist.
I've just had a recovered memory as you were saying that I had an etiquette class, but it wasn't at school. It might have been brownies or something. It might have been a badge for brownies.
Yeah, brownies do a badge for etiquette.
I think that was it. I remember going to my nan's and she was telling me how to put like the knives and forks on your table. And I was like, I really don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
Who
don't have
cares?
lessons like that at school. It would be, I think, the one like teaching you how to budget and do your bills and stuff. That's actually really helpful.
Yeah. It could have been good, but our teacher was so shit.
Uh,
Just did not care at all. Didn't make it creative or engaging in any way, shape, or form. And when you're that young, you do not understand what's important. So
yeah,
without someone there to tell you why you should care or like make it entertaining or fun or anything, you just don't engage with it and you take nothing away. So I
no.
learned literally nothing. I learned maybe one thing from that class, which was to understand how to know when buying in bulk is cheaper than not buying in bulk, and that's it. That was my
Huh,
only takeaway. So there is
okay,
one thing.
yeah. Well, anyway, so they're in a cooking class or home ec class, whatever.
Mhm.
A jock is telling another student that he needs to copy his homework, and the other kid is just staring off into space. The jock nudges him, and then the other kid turns on like the food processor thing and shoves his hand in it. And
Yeah.
it was quite unsettling because the kid's smile as he did it was really creepy. Did you notice
I
his
was like,
smile?
yes, make him into a smoothie.
Ew. And then Sam arrives as the whole class are running out of the room screaming, and he sees the kid who was possessed collapse on the floor. And as he comes to, it's clear he doesn't know what's just happened. But Sam then notices the ectoplasm coming out of his ear.
Mhm.
And this is where I thought, oh, the bad guy's going to be someone who's was being bullied. Um,
Yeah.
and then this is where I made the reference to the Buffy. I said it's like that episode of Buffy where the girl turns invisible and starts killing
Mhm.
people.
Yep.
And yeah, so then Sam and Dean are walking in the hall, and they decide it must be a ghost rather than a demon.
Yeah. So Dean says that he broke into the principal's office to get files.
Oh,
And
this
then
is the
he
cheerleader
says,
bit, isn't it?
yeah, and then he says, "Oh, and FYI, 3 of the cheerleaders are illegal. Guess which ones?" And Sam looks at him in absolute disgust and says, "No. More
I
men
love
need
how
to be
Sam
like
doesn't
Sam."
engage. Yeah. He's like,
But
no.
I am going to war with the writers because that is not something that Dean would say. And I feel like they should be sentenced to jail time because that is slander. So Sam says that he knew one of the kids that's in the paper because Dean says there was a kid named Barry Cook back in 98. And Sam's so sad. And he asks how he died. And Dean says he slit his wrists in the first floor girls' bathroom. And
Oh, poor
Sam's like,
Barry.
that's where, yeah, no, it's horrible. And Dean says, right, where the chick got swirled to death. Exactly. So what, this ghost is possessing nerds? And Sam is like, and using them to go after bullies. Yeah. And Dean says, well, does that sound like Barry's MO? And Sam's like, Barry had a hard time. And then we flash back to the past. It's in between classes in the hallway, and Barry's walking down the hall, and another kid bumps into him, making him drop all of his books. Like it's like a purposeful smash. Sam sees it and helps him pick up his stuff because all the other kids are just totally ignoring him, like he's like dead to them. And Barry says, "Thanks, Sam," and it's so heartfelt. It just makes it really, really, really sad. Barry's like Millhouse if Millhouse was likable, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is.
He even has the big glasses. Um, so Sam's like, great school. And Barry says, I don't care. 3 years, I'm out of here. I'm going to Michigan State. They got the best vet program in the country. And
Oh, but he
Sam's like,
doesn't
do
get
you
to
like
do that.
animals? No, I know.
It
It's
made me
horrible.
sad.
Yeah. I don't know if they did this on purpose. I don't think I should say that. That's too depressing. Um,
What were you going to say?
let's just say the fact that he's studying veterinary medicine is really accurate for what happens to him. Like the statistics for vets are not good.
Oh.
Vets' mental health is something that we need to really seriously like look into and protect because they have to put so many animals down and a lot of them will be healthy.
Yeah.
It will be preventable deaths. And they also see all of the worst cases of abuse and what people do. And it's
Oh,
just
I hadn't
like,
even thought about that. Yeah.
yeah, it's horrific. So like one of my friends is in veterinary medicine. And I know it from her. And like if you listen to stories, if you befriend vets or like veterinary nurses, like you'll realize that they have one of the hardest jobs at the same time as being the most empathetic kind of person that there is.
Mm,
Because
yeah.
they all really care. Like it's not to say there aren't any jerks in there at all ever, because there's jerks everywhere. But for the most part, you don't get jerks in veterinary medicine. You get just really good, kind-hearted people. And so the toll that it takes on them is a lot.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Whenever I go take my cat to the vets for like her little 6-monthly checkups, that every single vet or veterinary nurse or whatever that I've seen, they're always just like, they're so sweet with her.
Yeah.
Like, they're just so lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes me sad that they're sad.
They're angels. This is the thing is they're angels. Honestly, like they care so much and they care about everything all the time. They're highly intelligent. And so it makes it, I think, that much harder to process all the things that they're seeing all the time. Like if I had that job, I don't think I could have any faith in humanity, you know?
No. I always, like most kids when you're really little, I always wanted to be a vet growing up. And then I realized
at one point
that side that you'd have to like
you'd have to put
animals down. I was like, oh, I don't want to be a vet anymore.
No, I was like, I'm out. So yeah, so we need to love and protect our veterinary medicine people. And I wonder if, I still do wonder, because they do like to make a point about mental health. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Because it also makes it even more sad. He's this young kid. He loves animals. He knows what he wants to do. He's highly empathic.
Yeah.
So Sam says, you like animals? And Barry says, they're a lot nicer than people, and your heart shatters into a million tiny pieces on the floor.
Yeah.
And if it's a rewatch, it's just your heart's dead. There's no recovery. It's just so sad.
Poor Milhouse.
Poor Milhouse. Yeah. So we cut to the janitor's closet and it's daytime, and young Dean and Amanda are making out. And Dean's like, so tonight I'm thinking you, me, a bucket of popcorn, extra butter. And she goes, kinky. And Dean is like, and the midnight screening of I Spit on Your Grave at the Cinema-Dome. Such a violent movie.
Sounds like a good date.
Yeah, Amanda says, I can't. I have a curfew at 11. And he's like, so? And Amanda's like, so if I break it, my folks will ground me for a month. And he's like, yeah, parents, terrifying. And she's like, well, when's your curfew? And he says, I don't have one. And she's like, your parents just let you stay out all night, don't they? And Dean's like, I know, it's so sad. This whole thing is so gutting. My dad's out of town on a job. It's just me and my brother. And she's like, for how long? And he says, a couple of weeks. And she's like, are you serious? And Dean's like, yeah, we get a pretty sweet setup at the Pines. And she's like, the motel? And she's just more and more horrified. And this is why he pushes her away, I think. Because he can't handle pity and sympathy and all the rest of it, because it would mean that he would have to touch base with reality that his dad's shit instead of hero worshipping him. So to protect the image of his dad and to kind of keep his own sanity intact, if people are too nice to him about this and try and point out that he's not a great dad, Dean is going to push them away. So he says he's got HBO, magic fingers, and free ice. It's great. And Amanda's like, yeah, I guess. And Dean says, what? I do whatever I want, whenever I want. It's perfect. And she's like, yeah, but...
The magic fingers is the vibrating bed thing, isn't it? That he's obsessed with.
Yeah. So Amanda says, yeah, but don't you miss your dad? And it's sad vibes. It's sad vibes. And Dean looks like taken aback by it. And we could see things like processing in his head. And it's just, you can tell it's not going to end well.
This episode is so depressing, Joy. Why is it your favorite?
There's things in it that are, it's like, this is like my version of Mystery Spot, because there's really sad parts in Mystery Spot too, but there's also really entertaining parts.
This is like childhood trauma for every single kid in this.
But I have the childhood trauma, so it doesn't hit me that way. I'm just like, yes, kill the bullies. Your dad's awful. My dad is also awful. I can just relate to all of it. I'm like, yeah, murder the annoying people. It's therapeutic for me, honestly. So Dean and Amanda emerge from the closet just as young Sam and Barry walk by. And Dean goes, yo, Sammy, being like the coolest guy to ever cool. Okay. And cool. Barry is like, that's your brother with Amanda Heckerling? He's cool. You can just practically see like the heart emojis in front of his face. And Sam goes, Barry. Yeah, he thinks so. Like pure younger brother, absolute disgust.
Yeah, it's not really. He just thinks he is.
Yeah, it's so funny. So then we run into Dirk. And Dirk the Jerk says, hey, tough guy, I've been looking for you. You still want to take Barry's place? And Sam turns around and says, "Get out of here, Barry." And this is where it's like, again, it's a history of violence because it's like you're fucking
Mm.
with this kid and you think you're so much bigger than him and so much better than him, but you have no idea how dangerous he is.
And he's
I love
always
that
the one
movie.
starting the fights.
He's always the one starting the fight. So Barry says, "I'll go get a teacher," and runs away. And Dirk says, "You want to go?" And Sam's like, "I'm not going to fight you, Dirk." But he says it in this like, "You're beneath me" kind of a way, low key.
Yeah.
And Dirk says, "Why not? You chicken? Come on." And Sam says, "No." And Dirk punches Sam in the face and he falls to the ground and he stays there. And this is really, really well done because you can see Sam at war with himself. Like you can see Sam thinking that he can take him apart and maybe he will. And you can see the anger coming to this like slow boil. But you can
Yeah.
also see him fighting it and trying not to give in to the violence and
Mhm.
trying to be chill. And so we really understand from this episode just how pure and good Sam is. Cuz he has the opportunity to like eviscerate this kid and he doesn't do it. He gives him different opportunities.
Mhm. Yeah.
So Dirk's screaming, "Get up, get up, get up," at the same time that Mr. Wyatt comes running in. And you can see that Sam is about to snap when this happens. And if Mr. Wyatt hadn't been there, he would have fought him.
Yeah.
Which
I thought that.
honestly would have been fair. And it would have been what he deserved, just like it is later when it happens later.
Yeah.
So Wyatt breaks up the fight and Dirk kind of storms off and Sam just kind of watches them walk away. And
Mhm.
we can see like his little inner psycho has come out, but he's like holding it back. And again, it's like a history of violence. Okay. It's amazing. All I do on our podcast is talk about other like TV shows and movies.
We should have a Joy recommends.
We should. We should have a Joy recommend slide or something.
Yeah.
Oh, Joy recommended this and like a little IMDb link at the bottom.
Or we really need to get around to doing our bonus episodes where we do some of the movies that we talk about all the time.
Yeah, for sure. So Dean and Sam are standing by Barry's grave where they've dug it up, and Sam puts the salt and the fuel in, and Dean throws in this entire lighted matchbook, which was really cool. And the way they filmed this was really, really cool too. I was like, oh, I could see now when I see the grave. So it's Laura being like, "It's too square, it's too perfect."
Yep.
And then Dean says, "So long, Barry Cook," when he throws the matchbook in there. And then we cut back to the Impala. It's nighttime. They're driving down this long, dark road. And Dean says, "Are you all right?" And Sam says, "Barry was my friend. I just burned his bones." And Dean says, "Well, he's at peace now, Sam." And Sam says, "I mean, if Dad had let us stay just a little while longer, maybe I could have helped the kid, you know?" Dean says, "You read the coroner's report, same as me. Barry was on every anxiety drug and antidepressant known to man. School was hell for that kid. His parents had split up. He just wanted out. It was tragic, but it's not your fault. To tell you the truth, I'm glad we got out of that town. I hated that school." And Sam says it wasn't all bad. And Dean says, "How can you say that after what happened to you?" Sam kind of looks over at Dean, but like past Dean, and we can tell that we're going to get another flashback. So Sam and Dean are sitting on a bleacher by the school, and Dean says, "That kid's dead." And Sam is like, "Dean?" And Dean is like, "I'm going to rip his lungs out." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what you should do." And Sam says, "It's not a big deal." And Dean says, "Not a big deal. Sammy, look at yourself. If Dad was here," and Sam says, "Well, he's not." And Dean's like, "Well, I am. And as soon as I'm finished with that dick," Sam's like, "Shut up, okay? I don't need your help." And Dean says, "That's right. You don't. You could have torn him apart. So why didn't you?" And Sam says, "Because I don't want to be the freak for once, Dean. I want to be normal." And Dean says, "So taking a beating, that's normal?" And Sam's like, "Any word from Dad?" Immediately distracting. Changes the subject. Dean says he called this morning. Said he's going to be another week at least. We weren't supposed to be here this long. Sam says, "At least you've got Amanda. She's cool." And Dean says, "Dude, she wants me to meet her parents. I don't do parents." And naturally, he's going to sabotage their relationship
Yeah,
because she's too smart and she knows him too well. And he's intimidated by that.
definitely. I did have a question about John, the John thing. So, because Sam asked me if he's heard from him, and he says he called this morning, and I'm like, did he? Do you think he really did, or is Dean just trying to like make Sam feel better? Because he does cover for John a lot.
He does cover for John a lot. I'm going to say that he's lying to cover. I don't think John really called.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought as well.
Yeah.
So in Mr. Wyatt's English class, he keeps Sam behind at the end and asks about a paper that he wrote that was supposed to be non-fiction, and Sam had written about a werewolf they killed last summer. He isn't
It's so subtle.
yeah. He isn't angry about it. He tells Sam that it was good. And then they chat, and Mr. Wyatt asks Sam if he's thought about becoming a writer. And Sam says he can't because he has to join the family business, which he says his dad is a mechanic, and that's the business.
Yeah.
Mr. Wyatt asks if he wants to go into the family business, and Sam says no. So what does he actually say? He says something like, "It's really
more than anything, no."
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah.
So Mr. Wyatt basically tells him he can do whatever he wants to do. So he's giving more encouragement to Sam than his own dad does.
Yeah.
And this is why
Stupid
I said
John.
he's got green eyes.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Stupid John.
I actually thought that this really mirrored Eric Kripke's experience, because he's talked about being from like a steelworks family, and he's the one who went away to Hollywood and he left the family business. And so like a lot of what we're seeing with Sam's conflict about being a creative writer and leaving the family business really mirrors Kripke's experience. And I assume that's on purpose.
Yeah, I remember you saying that in a previous episode now. And like how Sam is supposed to be him, like his self-insert character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can really see it in this episode.
Yeah.
So Sam and Dean drive up to the school, and Dean says, "We came back here so you could talk to a teacher." And Sam says he's a good guy. And Dean says, "Well, whatever. Go have your Robin Williams, oh, Captain, my Captain moment. Just make it quick." And I love that line because I love that movie. And I love that Dean clearly loves that movie because he knows it to make that reference. My life is complete, okay? My life, I want to stand on a desk and scream, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." If you have not seen The Dead Poet Society, drop everything. Maybe not this podcast. Maybe finish this episode. But then immediately go watch The Dead Poet Society. This is the perfect time of year for it. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's on something as well, like Netflix or
it's
Prime
on
or
Netflix
something.
at the moment. Yeah. So we cut to the hallway, and it's daytime, and Sam's walking down, and it's really, really deserted and low-key kind of eerie. And he looks really deep in thought. He runs his hand through his hair as he's walking. He looks really hot, actually, not gonna lie. This is like a Sam thirst trap. And it flashes back to him doing the same thing as a young kid. And so we change back to grown-up Sam as he's approached by this young woman. And she says, "Excuse me, sir, can you tell me where to find room 305? And Sam says, "Sure. Head down the hall, take your first right, and then the third door on the left." And she says, "Thanks, Sam." And that's obviously jarring because she shouldn't know his name.
No, it was creepy as well how she said it.
Yeah. So she's quite scary, and it's a jump scare because she shouldn't know who he is. And she takes out a knife and stabs him in the stomach. I thought it was like, it says it's a knife, but I thought it was like an art scalpel or something, like something that would be in the school. You don't see it for very long, but it's really sharp and pointed like a scalpel.
Yeah. I just wrote down she stabs him. I didn't say what kind of knife.
It's horrible. And then she says, "You got tall, Winchester." And she kicks him in the face, and he falls to the ground. He opens this little jar that he has from his jacket pocket, and it's full of salt. And when she approaches him again, he grabs her and forces the salt into her mouth, and that was hot. Like that was a thirst trap, a violent version of like low sodium freaks. And
I like how he's just carrying around a little bottle of
it's so
salt
smart.
with him everywhere.
Smart Sam is smart. Yeah. So like I feel like they should all do this all the time.
Maybe Dean has one as well.
Yeah. People online have said that they should have iron infused, like salt and iron infused rings, and then they could just punch the ghosts. And I was like, that's so smart. So this is kind of like a version of that. But it's also really cool because he's really gentle with her. Like he's getting stabbed. This is like his Aragorn moment. He's getting brutally attacked by this young girl who he obviously knows is a victim. She's a young girl. So instead, he takes the attack and then forces the salt into her mouth in order to save her. He very carefully doesn't injure her.
And I was like kind of, he like holds her. Yeah.
So that she doesn't fall or hit her head on the floor or anything like that. It is so sick. Like it is awesome. And he's such a gentle giant. And it really sells to you like Sam's vulnerability is his kindness, but it's just so beautiful. And I love that scene. That's probably one of my favorite scenes all episode. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So then we cut to the woods, daytime, and Sam and Dean are sitting on the Impala enjoying some beers and talking. And I feel like that's incorrect Supernatural Wiki who's writing this transcript, because really Sam is sitting there bleeding visibly and Dean
Yeah.
is like trying to big brother him through it.
I thought he gave him a bottle of whiskey as well.
He does. So he says, "Trust me,
Ah.
this will help. That ghost is dead. I'm going to rip its lungs out." Well, you know what I mean. Love that line. That's
That
one of
was the
my
same
favorite
thing
lines.
you said earlier as well, wasn't
It
it?
is. Yeah, he's echoing himself. Anybody touches Sam, they get their lungs ripped out. Love it. And those are the Dean thirst traps of this episode for me, is when he's being protective over Sam. So Sam says that it knew his real name and they burned Barry's bones, so what the hell? And Dean's like, well, maybe it wasn't Barry. Maybe we missed something. We've got to go back. So he starts revisiting the files that he has that he stole. And he goes, no way. How did we not see this before? And Sam says, what? And Dean says, check it out. Look, Martha Dump Truck, Revenge of the Nerds, and Hello Kitty, they rode the same bus. So as we said before, these are not ideal references.
No.
Martha is a reference to the Heathers. That's what that character is called in Heathers.
Mm-hmm.
Revenge of the Nerds is another movie. Hello Kitty is kind of racist because the girl who attacked Sam was Asian, and Hello Kitty is also Asian. So
Yeah.
not ideal, has not aged well. Kind of problematic. No. Sam says maybe the bus is haunted. And Dean says, well, that would explain why there's no EMF at the school, but not the attacks. I mean, ghosts are tied to places that they haunt. They can't just bail. And this is a good place for me to tell you about the most haunted schools in America, Laura.
Ooh.
That's my Easter egg for this episode.
Yay.
I'm about to read you a whole ass article. I skimmed it earlier and I was like, oh, this is creepy as fuck. Okay, so this is called The 10 Scariest Haunted High Schools in America. And it was written by Corey Dudek. So the article opens and it says, with bullies, puberty, and the general awkwardness of your teenage years making high school difficult enough, you'd think ghosts would cut America's youth a little slack. On the other hand, if you have to live in constant fear anyways, why not have a legitimate otherworldly reason to get along with it? While your personal belief in the paranormal certainly dictates the level of your fear towards the specters and all things spooktacular, the following stories of high schools around the country said to be haunted will send shivers down your spine. When it comes to the scariest school in America, El Paso High School has them all beat. Its ghost stories range from sealed-off hallways full of mist and strange goo dripping from the ceiling.
Demon dust and ectoplasm.
Baby. Ectoplasm. To hidden classrooms beneath the building no one knew existed. However, nothing compares to the photo of the graduating class of 1985 above. While the woman in the center is certainly blurry, there's no doubt she is there, or so you think. According to former students, there was no one standing there when the picture was taken, nor can the female in question be identified. Some people believe the apparition to be a young girl who had taken her own life years before by jumping from a balcony connected to the misty hallway. Others have seen the very same ghostly figure jump from said balcony, disappearing before hitting the ground each time. Any way you slice it, El Paso High School takes a spine-tingling to frightening new heights.
Have you got that picture? Send it to me.
I do. Yeah. What, right now?
Yeah, I want to see it. You can't tell me there's a ghost in a picture and then not send it to me. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. It's freaky, isn't it?
So that girl in the middle is not actually there?
She's not there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
She's definitely there. There's definitely a person there.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those strongest pieces of paranormal evidence.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially because you could be like, well, there is someone there, they're just lying. But if they're all saying that there was no one there, that's creepy.
Yep. And it goes along with the episode theme too.
There's a zoomed out version of this picture, which is on Reddit. And it she kind of looks smaller than everyone else as well. She just kind of looks out of proportion. So that makes it seem more credible in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree.
Ooh.
Spooky. The next one is Lee Williams High School in Kingman, Arizona. And the article says, When your school sits atop a frontier town once involved in mining, railroading, and cattle driving back when Arizona was still considered a territory, you're bound to come across a vengeful spirit or two. In fact, students of Lee Williams High School claim they've seen a man in a bowler hat roaming the halls quite frequently, as well as a young girl who calls out at night that she wants to go out and play. That just made me think of, come play with us, Danny. Like, small girl ghost tells you that she wants to play with you at night. No, that is a no go.
No.
No,
No
that's
creepy
like a
kid
single
ghosts.
red ball bouncing down the steps in the horror movie. Like, it never ends well. Immediately, no, pass. So you couple this with the usual flickering lights and motion detectors going off by themselves, and you've got yourself a good old-fashioned haunting. Furthermore, after renovations in 2010, part of the football field is now located directly on top of the old Pioneer Cemetery. That might explain why spectators have visited ghosts in prairie gowns and suits appear during graduation events on the field. The 7 coffins unearthed during the renovations might also play a role in the matter.
Ooh,
Yeah.
spooky.
Spooky. Cathedral High School, Los Angeles, California. Facing your fears is considered the best way to overcome them, but Cathedral High School may take that advice a step too far. Embracing the fact that the premises were built on the remains of the old cavalry cemetery, headstones of the dead, which have been dug up during renovations through the years, are prominently displayed around the school football field. That's normal. To add insult to injury, the school mascot is the Phantoms in honor of the land's heritage. While students and teachers consider all this to be a point of pride and rarely even entertain the notion that the school might be haunted, maintenance workers don't share their sentiments. They claim that along with seeing and hearing the spirits of the ones living, they literally feel their presence at night, often accompanied by cold spots throughout the property.
Oh, that is creepy.
Yeah, I
Don't
hate
want
those
working in it.
videos on TikTok of like people working
Mm.
alone late at night in schools and things are moving by themselves or they feel someone touch
Yeah.
them and then they run away and like,
Schools are already creepy at nighttime when it's like that liminal
yeah,
space thing.
yeah, for sure. Pocatello High School, Pocatello, Idaho. If you're not one to be easily frightened by ghost stories, Pocatello High School might be right up your alley. That's because, along with numerous eyewitnesses accounting for spirits roaming the halls, whispering, or even hanging out in the rafters of the theater, there's now video evidence of a mysterious apparition lurking around and messing with the lights. Paranormal investigators have discovered that at least 6 deaths have occurred on the property, with one of the most disturbing involving a suicide pact in the late 1940s to early 1950s between 2 young girls. While only one actually went through with it, hanging herself from her locker, the strong scent of her perfume can still be detected in the halls from time to time. Even when her locker was removed, the smell remained.
I'm sorry, that other girl that was part of that pact is an asshole.
I mean, it's all obviously a bad idea.
Well, yeah, but like that's
That's
mean.
that's it takes I have no words. I don't even have words. Topeka High School, Topeka, Kansas. By now, it's been well established that one way of preventing your school from being haunted by the undead is not building it in close proximity to a graveyard, let alone on top of one. Sure, when Topeka High School was constructed in the 1890s, the graveyard was relocated, allegedly. But relocation is precisely how you disturb something. Now, students and faculty must endure irregular ghost sightings, the murmur of conversations between spirits, and other strange phenomenon when roaming the halls alone. Did we mention that there are said to be underground tunnels beneath the school which lead to a hidden graveyard? Because that is
Ooh.
definitely the creepiest part of all. Other cities' landmarks, including Harrison Church and the Capitol building, are said to be haunted too.
Oh, yeah. You probably shouldn't build anything on top of a graveyard, but the secret tunnels is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I
But
wouldn't want to go down
why
there,
are
but
they there though?
hmm.
And also, no wonder it's hell haunted. Like, there's literally transportation. The ghosts are just like wandering up into the halls, trying to get an education. Okay. So, C.E. Bird High School in Shreveport, Louisiana. Long thought to be haunted by the ghosts of both a young girl who drowned in the swimming pool in the 1930s and an ROTC sergeant who committed suicide in the 1960s, it was discovered last year that at least the latter was correct, partially. While Shreveport's own KTB S3 news team was able to debunk the drowning victim rumors, they also managed to prove through some digging that Master Sergeant Will Stubbenfield did kill himself on October 17th, 1962, albeit by accident. At least now students know whose cold spot they are walking through as Sergeant Stubblefield continues to haunt them with his presence.
Ooh, spooky. These are good.
Yeah, they
Spooky
are really
high
good.
schools.
This is quite a scary one. And it's perfect for the lead up to Halloween because we're getting close to Halloween now.
Yay.
Roy High School, Roy, Utah. Roy High School is home to many ghosts, all of which appear to have their own specific quirks. For instance, the one known as Mabel lurks around the auditorium backstage near a set of winding stairs. She's not shy, though, as she tends to tinker with the lighting and moves props around. Another auditorium ghost is said to wear a purple hat and try to convince students to follow her, but gives off a much too evil vibe for anyone to dare try. Others include a floating head ghost in the upper left balcony and another who roams the halls. It is believed that he died after being hit by a train walking to school. Students say that they can feel him watching them if they are wandering around alone. And you thought school spirit was a good thing.
I like how this has been written, actually. This is good.
It's really well written. St. Charles East High School, St. Charles, Illinois. Ghosts are scary enough as it is, but when they're accompanied by a horrifyingly gruesome backstory, they become the fuel of nightmares. Enter St. Charles East High School, where it is rumored that the spirit of a former freshman girl haunts the halls. Said to have been playing her flute in the band room when a deranged janitor R-worded her and murdered her. She was then cut into pieces and stuffed in various lockers. Since then, band students occasionally run across body parts in their lockers only to have them disappear right in front of them. Others claim to hear the sounds of a faint flute being played when the room is quiet or when they are alone.
Well,
Worst
creepy.
of all, many have had their flutes disappear mysteriously, while others notice signs that their instrument has been played while left on the school overnight.
It's creepy flute noises. And then, so
Yeah.
the body parts were ghosts. So it's like a ghost but in bits.
Yes.
So they like you'd find an arm and then it would disappear like a ghost. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
You'd
creepy.
open your locker and there'd be like a severed arm or a severed head.
Oh, and then it would disappear.
And then it would just disappear. Because you'd go to get a teacher or a friend and be like, oh my God, look at what's here. Somebody call the police. And then there's nothing there.
That's so the person, the janitor, whatever you said that killed her, he just stuffed her in a load of lockers.
Yeah, he must have been trying to hide the body.
Well, that's not they're not a very good place to hide.
I don't know. I don't know if he thought he was going to go back for it and dispose of it. I don't know. I don't know if there was any logic there.
Seems like all of that is going to get found out the next day when the kids go and open the lockers.
Which I assume is what happened.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrible.
It is deeply, deeply horrible. I think that's the scariest thing I've ever read. Chopticon High School in Morganza, Maryland. Speaking of spooks with stories to them, the following tale is certainly not one for the faint of heart. I'm actually scared now after that last one. That last one scared the shit out of me. While working by herself at Chopticon High School during the summer of 1983, a teacher by the name of Mrs. Heater was attacked and brutally stabbed to death by Lester Broom, a maintenance worker at the school. He then dragged her body into the nearest bathroom on the second floor. These are getting worse and worse, and we're both recording alone at night in the dark.
I'm sorry. I was laughing because he's a maintenance man. He's called Broom. That just got me.
Okay.
So carry on.
He then dragged her body into the nearest bathroom on the second floor, eventually being caught and convicted of the murder. Ever since, students and faculty alike claim that the former teacher haunts the hallways, specifically the bathroom where she was found dead. Most accounts of paranormal activity have simply involved the sound of high heels clicking through the halls or in the bathroom, but some witnesses have heard the footsteps walk right up to them. In any case, most visitors to the school, even those who aren't aware of Mrs. Heater, feel a general sense of uneasiness when making the rounds.
Oh.
How are we getting? They're getting worse and worse. I don't even know what number I'm on. I'm scared. I hope this is 10. I'm done.
Is it not numbered?
It's not numbered. I'm just reading them. It's done. I'm done. I'm so done. Bristol, Tennessee High School, Bristol, Tennessee. Unlike most of the schools on this list, Bristol, Tennessee High School is said to be inhabited by 3 specific ghosts. The most notable among them is a female known as Agnes, whose footsteps have been heard down the halls for years. She's even occasionally spotted wearing a white dress. Oh, woman in white. While the stories of her death vary from drowning to hanging, another popular theory is that she was killed one night by the second apparition, a phantom train. The train emerges from the school gymnasium from time to time, violently shaking the hallways in the process. The
Ooh.
final ghost is that of a former athlete who was run down by a car on his walk home from a game. Students have reportedly encountered him on multiple occasions in the school field house.
So there's a ghost train that then killed another person, and now that person's a ghost too.
Yeah, I feel like that one was actually a lot less scary because I can't suspend my disbelief. Like, I could believe in a ghost train, but I find it difficult to believe that a ghost train killed someone.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. I mean, it does say that the stories of her death vary a lot. So there's one version where she drowned, one version where she hanged. And then there's the other one is a theory that she was killed by the phantom train, which I think is really silly. So I think the first two are probably more likely, and
Yeah,
then
it's
it would be
probably one of them.
scary. Then you have the athlete who was run down by a car walking home at night.
That's sad.
Yeah, and people seeing him around. I guess the field house is probably like their version of like a football area, I would assume. So that is sad. But that was number 10, that one.
Yeah, and that seems more believable because like there's the theory of people that turn into ghosts is because they weren't expecting to die, like they've got unfinished
Yeah.
business kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Whew. So that was a lot scarier than I thought. Because, like, normally I read through them in advance and I select out ones that aren't too gory. I usually try to avoid gore, and I usually try to also avoid true crime because I try to not have recent true crime in our podcast to be respectful, like I always say. That one I didn't actually read in advance. And I did not know that it was going to be that specific or that scary. I didn't know there was any true crime in it. And now that was terrifying. I am not going to sleep well tonight. I'm gonna have to check the whole house before I go to bed.
Ugh. Yeah, it was the body part one that got me.
I know. I feel like I need to light a candle or something. That was the heebie-jeebies. So it went really well with the episode theme, Haunted School. It was terrifying, like the episode, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was very scary, very Halloween. Okay, so Sam is saying that he thinks that the bus itself is haunted.
Haunted bus, yeah.
Haunted bus tracks.
That sounds
And
fine.
so Dean says that would explain why there's no EMF at the school, and he says ghosts are tied to places that they haunt and they can't just bail. And Sam says unless this one can. Dean, there's lore about spirits possessing people and riding them for miles. Then whenever they leave the body, they're like bungeed back to their usual haunt. But until then, the ghosts can go wherever they want. And Dean says, so a spook just grabs a kid on the bus and rides him into Truman? And Sam says it's possible. And Dean says, ghosts getting creative. Well, that's super. So then we cut to the school bus during the day, and Sam is in the back of the bus with an EMF meter. Dean is up front searching for some clue of the ghost. And Sam says, definitely ain't clean. And Dean says, here, ghosty, 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 come out wherever you are.
I like
that made me laugh.
Yeah.
Sam says, man, I don't get it. No one ever died on this bus, and it's not like there's a body hidden in here. And Dean says, this is so gross. Yeah, but a flap of skin, hair. I mean, hell, a hangnail. Something's got to be tying the ghost to this place. We just got to find it.
Ew, Dean.
I know, right? Gross. I love him, but gross. Sam says, yeah. And Dean's looking through the papers at the front of the bus, and then he finds a driving permit, and it was issued 2 weeks ago. And they're like, oh, that's when the attacks started. So Dean says that the name of the bus driver is Dirk McGregor Sr., and names the address. And Sam's like, wait, McGregor? And Dean says, yeah, why? And Sam says, I knew his son. And then Dean goes, did you know everybody at the school? Because they had such a flip of normal perspectives, because usually Dean is the cool kid. But in this instance, Dean was not the cool kid. Sam was the cool kid, and Dean hated every minute of it.
Yeah.
All right, so the school is letting out, and Dirk pushes Barry down. And he says, gotta watch where you're going, man. And Sam says, leave him alone, Dirk. And Dirk says, you never learn, do you, midget? And Sam says, get to the bus, Barry. And Barry runs off, and Dirk pushes at Sam. And Dirk says, "What's the matter? You scared? Don't worry, I'll go easy on you this time. Come on, lose, Chester. Let's see what you got. Come on, freak. And he's being such an asshole, but I have to interrupt this because Jared at a panel, someone asked a question. I can't remember what the question was, but it was something about like the Winchesters not being able to pull something off or something to that effect. And he says, no, we totally do it because we're the Winchesters, not the lose Chesters. And then he goes to give Jensen a high five for this comment because he's referencing this script.
Yeah.
But he leaves him hanging because he thinks it's too corny. And it's honestly so funny. And Jared does a no. And then he's like, he puts his hand down. But I was like, it was a reference. I didn't even get it. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's not very imaginative of Dirk, though, is it? I mean, I suppose Dirk the Jerk isn't that imaginative either, but...
I don't know, it rhymes.
Yeah.
So Sam gets up and starts fighting with Dirk. And he's clearly the better fighter. He's connecting with really hard punches while Dirk is swinging at the air. Sam is just ducking. He's too fast. And he's going for his vulnerable points too. Like, so he's like taking him in the stomach. He's kneeing him. He's punching him in the head. Then when he gets him down, he keeps him down. It's like really, really good form. It's a great fight. And Sam says, "You're not tough. You're just a jerk. Dirk the Jerk." And then the kids all start chanting Dirk the Jerk. And Sam has won. And it's this moment of like light and fresh air because he protected his friend and he put this bully in his place. And we can see how happy he is, which is setting us up for failure later because then he's going to be sad very soon.
Yeah, but this is totally Dirk's fault. Like, Dirk started it, and Sam just called him Dirk the Jerk, and like
Dirk started it and Sam finished it.
Yeah, but then Dirk takes this as his like, well, I'm going to haunt everyone now because people were mean to me, even though I was mean to everyone else.
Yeah,
shut up, Dirk.
He's such a Chad.
So then they go and see Dirk's dad, and he says that Dirk died when he was 18. Basically, like, he got into drugs and stuff. Says he didn't have a great time at school as other kids picked on him. Oh, boo-hoo, he picked on everyone else. And sounds like basically like the same sort of thing, like what? Because he was the one that was a bully. Yeah. And his dad was like, yeah, they even used to call him Dirk the Jerk. And then he sees Sam's like, oh no, I was his bully. It's all right, Sam, you weren't. And it turns out that we get a bit of a backstory, which is supposed to make us feel sympathetic for Dirk because his mom died when he was 13, and he was basically caring for her before that. But I'm sorry, but that doesn't make it okay to be a really bad bully at school.
No.
So Dean asks where Dirk is buried, and the dad says he was cremated. And Dean's like, all of him?
Yeah, that was so funny.
and Dirk Senior says he kept a lock of his hair, and Dean is like acting super weird here because he's like asking him where the hair is.
He says, "Oh, that's nice. Where do you keep that?"
I'd be like, "Why, you weirdo?" I wouldn't have told him, but he does. He says it's on his bus in his Bible. So then we cut to the school bus at night, and the driver has ectoplasm coming out of his nose, and I just went, "Uh-oh."
So like the coach says thank you for subbing, and then the coach is asking him to ease off the pedal, and Eddie says, "I got it all under control," but it's like super evil, and then he hits the spike strip and the thing blows.
Yeah. So is that, did Sam and Dean put that out to stop the bus?
Yes.
Yeah. So they this is so weird. So basically they hold up the bus and they get the driver off the bus, and they're literally like pushing up against the window where everyone on the bus can see what's going on. And I just went, cool. Oh, and now they're shooting him
in front of the children.
Yeah,
as you do.
But I was just like, why are the kids on this bus not more panicked that there's like their bus is being held up, their driver's just been shot?
They see the coach and they're like, "Oh, coach, everything's fine. This is whatever he's doing is fine."
Also, they usually try, if someone's being possessed, to like not kill the person, and they literally just shot this guy
with rock salt.
Oh, okay.
He's not going to die. It's going to hurt real bad.
Okay, I always forget they've got their salt gun instead of A proper gun. Okay.
So they grab him and they tie him up in a rope that has been soaked with salt water. And Sam says, "You're not going anywhere." And that's kind of hot. And Dean sticks his head on the bus and addresses the team. He says, "All right, everybody, stay where you are. You'll be okay." And then somebody says, "Aren't you the PE teacher?" And Dean says, "Not really. I'm like 21 Jump Street. The bus driver sells pot." Yeah. So this is why they get away with it, because he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm undercover, and this guy was selling drugs to kids, so we're arresting him real violently," which for America tracks. So he then starts looking for the hair, and then he shouts out that it's not there, and Sam's like, "Where is it?" And Dirk says, "No way you'll ever find it." And Sam pushes the shotgun up to Dirk's chest, and he says, "Where is it?" And Dirk says, "Sam Winchester, still a bully. You jocks, you popular kids, you always thought you were better than everybody else. And to you, I was just Dirk the Jerk, right? Now you evil sons of bitches are gonna get what's coming to you." And I was like, you are projecting.
Yeah.
Okay? So bad. So bad, because you're the bully, not Sam.
Yeah. Sam is definitely not the bully. Also, he wasn't a jock either, was he?
No, he really was. He was a tiny kid.
Yeah.
That's why he was getting picked on, because this huge guy was like, "Oh, I'm going to pick on this tiny, weak child."
Yeah, this guy has selective memory and also very flawed memories of his childhood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sam says, "I'm not evil, Dirk. I'm not, and neither were you. Trust me, I've seen real evil. We were scared and miserable, and we took it out on each other." Sam's being way too nice. "Us and everybody else. That's high school. But you suffer through that, and it gets better. I'm just sorry you didn't get a chance to see that. You are Barry." And that line is really, really sad. And Supernatural should pay for my therapy bills. And Dirk says, "Nothing is ever going to get better for me. Not ever." And then he breaks out of the rope, and Sam fires the salt gun at him, and Ghost Dirk flies back into the bus. He enters a student on the bus, and the student gets off the bus and attacks Sam from behind, and he starts beating Sam up really brutally. Dean fires a salt round at him, but misses. So Sam's calling out to Dean to find the hair. Dean goes to Eddie, who is still lying down on the ground, and starts looking in his pockets for the lock of hair. Dean says, "Hey, buddy, this isn't what it looks like." He's searching him all over. He finds it in his boot and then takes the lighter out and sets it on fire. Ghost Dirk screams and flies out of the student. The student falls on Sam. The team must have been football or wrestling, because this guy was huge. I'm pretty sure it was a football team. Like, Supernatural Wiki wasn't sure, but this has got to be the football team, surely.
Yeah, and they're still not reacting, even though now it's one of them that's gone out and is now like being attacked.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I guess technically he went out and he did the attacking, so maybe they're like, "What the fuck was he in on the drug deal?" I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
It'd still be reacting. They're not like, they're just basically just sat on the bus,
being like, "La la 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 la." Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
This guy like falls on top of Sam, doesn't he? And then instead of helping, Dean just makes a sex joke.
I mean, that is canon, Dean. I'll allow that one. So we cut back to the past, and Dean is making out with somebody who's not Amanda in a closet, the usual closet spot, like the eraser room from back in the day. And he says, "5 more minutes, Jerry." Then Amanda opens the door, and Dean pulls away from the girl that he was kissing, and he tries to act like he was studying for history, but he does a really terrible job. It's so stupid.
That doesn't make any sense, yeah.
None at all. And Amanda says, "I'm not mad, Dean. I thought maybe underneath your whole I could give a crap bad boy thing that there was something more going on. I mean, like the way you are with your brother. But I was wrong. And you spend so much time trying to convince people that you're cool, but it's just an act. We both know that you're just a sad, lonely little kid. And I feel sorry for you, Dean." And it's like, burn. He is cremated. R.I.P. He's dead from that burn.
It's like I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, but savage.
And also feel really sorry for you.
Yeah. And then Dean, who is completely humiliated publicly now, says, "You feel sorry for me, huh? Don't feel sorry for me. You don't know anything about me. I save lives. I'm a hero. A hero."
Okay, Dean, yeah.
And the girls basically do what Laura just said, and they roll their eyes at him. And so Amanda walks off to her friends, and they all look at Dean like he is like dirt, which, to be fair, he is dirt. And he's been dirt. He sucked. And he's like, What? I'm like, bro. So then we flash back to the hallway and it's daytime and it's full of students and we see young Sam walking down the hall and he passes by students and all the students are complimenting him on the way he handled everything. He's like, good job, buddy. Sam, great job with Dirk the Jerk. And then they give him high fives. We see Dean watching it happen and he's obviously upset. And then he gets a call on the cell and it's his dad. And he says, finally. And the Impala is waiting outside. They get in the car, and as they're going, Sam sees Barry in an upstairs window, and he looks really sad as he's waving goodbye.
Yeah, poor Barry.
Yeah. Dean says, I can't wait to get the hell out of here. This place sucks. Come on, Sam. And then he gets in the car.
Yeah.
And he calls out again because Sam's kind of waiting. He hasn't gotten into the car yet. He doesn't want to leave Barry behind because he's worried about him.
Yeah.
And then we cut back.
He's a good person and not a bully.
He is a good person. Then we cut back to the classroom and it's daytime. And Mr. Wyatt is alone in his classroom grading papers. And Sam knocks on the door and then walks in. And he says, Mr. Wyatt? And Mr. Wyatt says, yes. Sam says, you probably don't remember me, but my name is Sam Winchester. And I just wanted to thank you. And Wyatt says, for? And Sam says, I was a student here and you gave me some advice once. And Wyatt says, Winchester, right, yeah, you wrote that horror story. And Sam says, yeah, I did. It's kind of all been one long horror story. And Mr. Wyatt says, what do you mean? And Sam says, nothing, sorry. Mr. Wyatt says, so what was this advice? I might need to plagiarize myself down the line. And Sam says, you told me that I didn't have to go into the family business. You said I should make my own choices. Mr. Wyatt says, so you've managed to do your own thing then, huh? And Sam says, yeah, for a while, yeah. And I think I went to college because of you. But, people grow up. Mr. Wyatt says, yeah. And Sam says, responsibilities. But still, you took an interest in me when no one else did. That matters. So thank you. Oh, Samuel. So adorable. Mr. Wyatt says, well, the only thing that really matters is that you're happy. Are you happy, Sam? And Sam doesn't answer. And then it's the end of the episode. Because they live to torture us in the writer's room. They want us to be broken inside.
Yeah. That silence speaks volumes, as they say.
That's the loudest silence that I ever heard.
Poor Sammy's not happy.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, this episode is really depressing. And I didn't even realize how depressing until we recorded this episode.
I know, right? I never think about this as a sad episode. I just think about, yay, kill the bullies. And then, oh, young Sam is so precious, and Dean's trying to protect him.
Like, oh,
and
fun
he's
flashbacks
funny in the shorts. Yeah, I'm like, the whistle.
But it's actually the most depressing.
It's really
the most depressing episode ever.
Yeah, it is very sad.
Yeah,
very, very sad.
Did you have anything else to say about it, or do we want to just lighten the mood of our end of episode games?
Definitely games.
Okay, right. Villain hot or not?
No. Not hot.
Dirk, no.
Dirk the
Any
Jerk.
of the other hosts, no. Yeah, Dirk's a jerk. We don't like him. Scare rating?
I give this like a 4.5, I think.
Yeah, I only gave it a 2.5. I don't think it's not really gory. It's sad, and I suppose most of the scares come from stuff we don't actually see, and it's just depressing.
My 4.5 is for the drowning in the toilet and the hand being ground off in front of us with all the blood spraying everywhere.
Oh yeah, that was gory. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and the stabbing was actually pretty brutal as well. Like, it wasn't as brutal as it could have been, but it was pretty visceral. So like that's why I'm giving it about a 4.5. Okay,
I'll go up to a 3.
Fair.
Favorite quotes?
The whistle makes me their god.
Oh yeah, I had that one written down.
Yeah. I love that one so much. I also love it when he's screaming, I'll rip their lungs out, because he's protecting Sam, and that's adorable.
Yeah. I liked, here, ghosty, ghosty, ghosty.
Oh my god, yeah, that was
you are.
really good. That was really funny. Oh, when he says that they can't leave until after Sloppy Joe's.
Oh yeah. Thirst trap.
The honest answer is Sam protecting that girl.
That's what I put down. When he's like cradling her after he's like got the ghost out of her.
And the comedy answer is Dean as in his coach outfit.
Yeah. Who did you write down as your MVP?
It has to be Sam, I think. Because he goes through the most. Therefore, I'm giving it to him.
Yeah. I was like, Dean's the one that actually killed the ghost in the end, but then they wouldn't have done it without each other. And I put also it could be Mr. Wyatt.
Yeah, Mr. Wyatt is definitely an MVP. Because without Mr. Wyatt, Sam doesn't grow up to be Sam.
Oh.
Yeah. Wholesome.
Yeah. And there wasn't a motel.
No, there was no motel. There was only Baby.
And a school.
Yeah. I would stay in Baby for sure. Alrighty. That's it. It's late. That was scary as hell. Good luck to me sleeping tonight.
Yeah, your Easter eggs were the scariest part of this episode.
For sure. If you guys liked the super scary Easter eggs and you want more super scary Easter eggs, drop me like a Halloween-based emoji in the comment section. If it was too scary,
nah.
Then just be like, don't terrify me that much again, which I will be on board with because I am also terrified. So, same page. Okay, well, this is your final chance, I suppose, to get your costumes together. So this is your friendly reminder that if you have Halloween plans and you're supposed to be doing something and you have lastminute.com to everything, you need to go find a costume. You need to get the candy for the trick-or-treaters. You need to organize your life. You're welcome. And on that note, goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. We would be very grateful. And if you know someone who would enjoy it, please share.
You can find us on Instagram at the Witches of Letters podcast, or you can email us at thewitchesofletters@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay safe out there, have each other's backs, and always keep fighting.